Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. I'm your host, JR, and we are presented and brought to you by FanDuel, and we're part of the Bleav Network. We appreciate you being here and listening to Around the Big Ten, and boy, do we have a great episode for you in this one, as we have casual Big Ten making his appearance once again, Sonny from Locked On Illini, and new guest to the show, Michigan State fan, because Michigan State just loves their football so much right now. I can't stop talking about it. Matt Sheehan from Locked On Michigan State as well. Let's go ahead and go around and each of these guys tell you where you can find their content at. Kent, we'll start with you, man.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. I'm on there every day, tweeting hilarious and very viral Big Ten football and basketball things. So find me at Casual Big Ten on x.com.
And I'm in a insane asylum, thanks to Michigan State football. But when they do give me my weekly internet access for a half hour, you can find me on Twitter at Sheehan_sports. God, I hate just everything. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
And I'm Sonny. You can find all Illini content on Locked On Illini. That's about 30 to 40 minutes each and every day. And I also do Talk Illini for On3 Sports. That's a couple episodes a week. So if you like the Illini, you follow me and don't follow Kent, because Kent is not very nice to the Illini faithful lately.
Ouch.
Come on, man.
Ouch.
The funny thing is, I always promote Sonny. Like, I would actually prefer to give my time to Sonny. His show's awesome. Matt's show's awesome. You guys should go watch their shows. Don't follow me on Twitter for sure. He's right. He's absolutely right.
There we go. Some positive self-talk here to start this show. We are just rocking and rolling into another college football weekend. This is great. This is good.
I don't know, Kent. You had the meme, maybe the meme of the year today with the Northwestern looking.
I saw that tweet yesterday, and I actually made it like right before I fell asleep, which was like 3 a.m. last night. And I was like, this is a bad time to post it. No one's awake, I don't think. So I waited until this morning when I woke up. And yeah, it did well.
It's brilliant.
I'm going to get paid tens of cents on that tweet for sure.
Yes.
There you go. Social media mogul, casual Big Ten Kent. Just making sure you know not to post at 3 a.m. Maybe wait until the next morning. 10 a.m. Is that when you posted it?
I threw that one out at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time today, and it worked. Okay. It worked. Everyone was up by then.
Just the morning commute. People are checking their phones when they're whizzing down the highway. That's he knows what he's doing. Absolutely. Yeah. Well done.
They're ready for it. They're ready for it. Yep. All right. Well, hey, this is another one of our special Around the Big Ten episodes. You've listened now. You know how it goes. We have 3 guests, 3 questions in 30 minutes, give or take. Sometimes we go over. I think we'll probably go over in this one with these 3 that we have here, and I'm totally okay with that. Our first question we're going to start with, and we're going to give Kent the honors of answering this first one. Kent, there was a firing this week over at Penn State. If you're not aware, James Franklin lost to Oregon. That's an okay loss. Lost to UCLA. Not okay. And then finally lost.
Oh my God. That's Jesus. What?
Lost to Northwestern at home, and it's like, we can't stick with you anymore. So James Franklin, he gets the boot. He's out of there. There's some rumblings out there, Kent. You got Kirk Cinetti, Matt Rule, different guys out there. I want to know, who do you think Penn State should hire? I know you're hot and available for the job, Kent, but not you. Give me like a coach or somebody. Who's somebody that you think Penn State should hire for this job?
Yeah, real quick though, I want to double back. Northwestern was a better loss, by the way, than either of the other teams. Don't forget, Northwestern beat UCLA. I want everybody to remember that. Like, put some respect on the Wildcats before we get started. Speaking of Northwestern, I'm stealing my take from Greg McElroy. He was on ESPN. I believe it was either last night or the night before that. I didn't think of this, so I'm giving him full credit. Greg, good job thinking of this. Pat Fitzgerald, next head coach at Penn State University. I think it's a good idea. Honestly, like, he's been through some adversity, obviously, and he came through it. I think, the public perception of him might not be the best still, just because of everything, the way he was fired and everything. He won, though. He basically sued. He sued Northwestern and they settled. So he's free and clear right now. He's available. I think he was a great coach. I think this is all some of this stuff I'm stealing from Greg, I'll have to say, but it makes a lot of sense. He understands the Big Ten. He can recruit the area. And I think he would be great to almost have to rebuild this program at this point again, kind of like what James Franklin had to do when he stepped into Penn State. So I'll go with Pat Fitzgerald. I like that.
I just really feel you read Matt Rule's Wikipedia page, and that's enough for me to say, like, how could it not just go ahead and be him? Former linebacker. He's from Penn State. That guy bleeds all things Nittany Lions, it would seem. He was also great at resurrecting programs, but that's the interesting thing, too, is that, yes, this is a bad year for Penn State, obviously, but this isn't a program that, like, needs a resurrecting from the ashes, you know? But he has shown competency in, winning at different spots. Temple, Baylor, I would say so far Nebraska's going well so far, but look, I don't know if he's their number one guy they're going to go after. I'm sure Cignetti will be the first call they make, and I think that Cignetti hangs up in about 7 seconds, but I don't know. I just think it will be boring. I think it will just be the obvious choice of Matt Rule. Does anyone have any objection to that? Because I'm here for some spice in this coaching carousel. It's not going to come from there, though, I don't think.
Like, for me, when I think about it, like, I feel like Cignetti has to be the first call. Like, can we all at least agree on that?
Everyone,
he's got to be the first call, and I think we're all just going ahead and assuming that he's not interested in that job. The Matt Rule thing, I get, and I think it's going to probably excite the fan base the most just because of the Wikipedia, like Nittany Lions everywhere, former player, et cetera, et cetera. But to me, I don't know the difference between Matt Rule and James Franklin. They have the same. They can't win those big games. And I feel like you're picking him just because he's a former Nittany Lion. Like, for me, I'll be honest, I wouldn't have fired James Franklin. You know, I know this is a disaster of a season, but I would have just tried to, let's just ride this out through the season. Let's rebuild, reload, and then see how things go. I just don't know if there's any options out there outside Curt Cignetti. So for me, being not a Nittany Lion fan, I'm going to pick a guy who I think would do the best job, not the one that's going to get the donors the most excited. And for me, that guy is Matt Campbell. I've seen Matt Campbell take what could be the worst program in the Power 5, Iowa State, and turn them into a very respectable program competing for Big 12 championships, which they had never done prior to that. I feel like he is kind of a Midwest guy. And so he's been kind of waiting for that right opportunity. I think if Wisconsin opens up, Wisconsin would be a great fit for Matt too. So if I'm Penn State, and if you want a guy who can rebuild a program, who's familiar with the footprint that they recruit from, Matt's the guy.
I got one more too that, just kind of maybe if enough people say no, this would be a coach that I'm sure they would call that wouldn't be, I don't think, a disaster. That is one Manny Diaz. And look, he didn't spend a whole lot of time at Penn State. I Bleav it was 2 seasons as defensive coordinator. That was after he got fired from Miami. Because our Michigan State Spartans, that's right, they punked him in his home stadium at Hard Rock. Look, that's the only thing we have to smile about lately. Anyway, back on task here. Manny Diaz, I don't think would be absolutely, positively horrible. Is that Ron? You guys, please, we're all friends here. You can call me out and say, no, that would actually be a disastrous hire. And Penn State was better off just calling James Franklin, begging for him to come back instead of Manny Diaz. What are your thoughts on that?
See, Manny's another guy. Illinois also played them, and they also defeated them in Durham 45-19 in week 2. And Manny's obviously, he's got them going, right? They're undefeated in the ACC right now. They're absolutely contending for the conference championship. But again, the thing that bothers me is I'm trying to look at it from an athletic director's perspective. Someone who's got to kiss up to donors and boosters and whatnot. Is Manny Diaz the guy that's going to get someone really excited to, pay not just Manny Diaz and his coaching staff, top level money, but Manny, when he comes in, he's going to want new facility upgrades. Every coach wants that kind of stuff, right? And they're already paying James Franklin $49 million to go away. Is Manny Diaz the type of guy who you're so confident will get the job done to be worth what's going to ultimately be a 9-figure commitment?
I at this point, I don't know if you even should go with a sitting head coach. I almost wonder if you go with one of these coordinators that's been someplace, right? I mean, you look at Oregon with Dan Lanning, where'd he come from? Georgia. You look at Kirby Smart at Georgia, where'd he come from? Alabama. You look at Ryan Day at Ohio State, where'd he come from? Right there at Ohio State, he was never a head coach before, and he's got Ohio State reeling at this point. Really, the only exception is kind of Sharon Moore. Michigan's not too happy with him at this point, but you never know. Things could turn around. We'll see what happens there, but it doesn't look great. State at this point. So I'm almost wondering if they should go after like a Bryant Haynes or a Brian Hartline or something like that. One of these top tier coordinators, a Will Stein from Oregon, that's been around a winning culture. Because at this point, if you're Penn State, I don't know if you need a program rebuilder like a Matt Rule. I'm almost wondering if you need a guy who just knows what a winning program looks like and to be able to bring him in. I mean, you guys have any thoughts on bringing in a coordinator versus a head coach?
Yeah, I think that you could go either way as long as it's the right fit and you think you got the right guy. You know, I personally think, you know, you could go head coach, you could go coordinator, but why not? I feel like it's really fun right now because he just got fired to say like Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, like just throw out all the fun names, Curt Cignetti. Let's just say all the guys that are already doing well or have done well in the past. What about just taking the page right out of Indiana's book? Why don't you go hire Bob Chesney from James Madison? Do that. That's what Indiana did. No one even knows his name. I had to look it up just now. That's what I was doing on my phone. I didn't even know what his name was. I was like, who's the James Madison coach? Worked for Indiana. Might as well try that. But I really do think it could be a guy from like a smaller school like a Curt Cignetti did, and that's really successful at a smaller school. And then he just takes that next step up with the big boys. It could work. It worked for Indiana.
Don't say Alex Golish from South Florida. We're trying to save him when we fire our coach in about 2 weeks here. So if you could just scrub all this and just edit this part out, like no one say his name. I don't want any athletic director trying to take our guy out of Tampa right now. Ohio State roots. He's in his early 40s. They play a good physical brand of football. That's ours here in East Lansing. So if everyone pause off, please.
Say that sounds like another guy that coached there at Michigan State a little bit. Matt, is it D'Antonio? Am I getting that one correct there?
D'Antoni. Yeah, that's right. As many media outlets have accidentally written before, but yes, nice Mark D'Antonio blueprint. God, don't threaten me with a good time. Don't bring me back to the glory days and get hot. So yeah, that's again though. This is a Penn State topic. Here I am hijacking it with my own selfish needs and wants, but. Yeah, as long as everyone can just not turn their face and their heads towards South Florida, I'll be happy with this cycle.
I was going to ask you a question to finish this out really fast, Matt, and I didn't write this one down for you, so I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here for a second. If it doesn't work out, I'll just get rid of this part of the recording and we'll go on to the next question. But
sure.
Like you just said, Jonathan Smith might get fired here in the next 2 weeks. We'll see. It doesn't normally work out well for you when you lose to UCLA, and that just happened to Michigan State. So Who knows? Would you consider James Franklin?
Yes. Yes, I would. And I was actually asked this through an email question. During the game on Saturday, would you take James Franklin? Now, keep in mind, the game was still going on for Michigan State, and James Franklin hasn't even been fired yet. And immediately I said, no, I'm not going to take a guy that was just handed $50 million to never coach for another team. And then I actually thought about it. It's like, okay, he's got pretty good recruiting roots in Detroit. Does he have a big game problem? Sure. Would I also kill to have a big game problem at this point of my fandom? Yeah. Oh no, we're 9-3. We lost to Ohio State by 7 points. My God, I would pay out of pocket to have that situation right now. So I don't think he'd hit the ground running in year one. I still think that this is going to be a pretty seismic project for whoever comes in, but the guy's a winner. I mean, even before Penn State over at Vanderbilt, he built them to be a program that they never were, and keep the Clark Leah stuff out of it, but he's a winner. I would take him. So once I came to a clear mind after Saturday, I'm all aboard the James Franklin train. Let's go.
You might as well. Someone has to take him, by the way. Like, he has to coach for somebody to get his buyout. So he will be coaching.
We got a home for you. Yeah, we got houses in East Lansing. Yeah, come on by.
And he's going to be on it. Like, he's not going to need much money because they just pay whatever the difference is that he's making.
Do it for minimum wage.
Hire him for, great. Hire him for $50,000 a year.
I saw a funny tweet saying like Pittsburgh should offer him like $50,000 a year to be an analyst on their team and just have their rivals eat all that salary.
That'd be hilarious.
Diabolical.
Well, we'll end with this. My funniest situation possible is that a name you've been you've heard mentioned for Penn State right now, the Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee. Just do a coach swap. Just send James Franklin right back to Vanderbilt. Bring in the new Vanderbilt coach to Penn State.
Little switcheroo. I like that.
Let's see it happen.
I'm on
Let's
board.
see it happen. All right, let's move on to the next question here. I do want to remind you to please do like and subscribe to the Big Ten Huddle, and go on over to these other guys' channels, Twitters, everything, and go like, subscribe, do all the stuff over there with their stuff. They're being very generous with their time for Around the Big Ten here. We appreciate it, and we would love it if you would go and choose to do that. We'll put the links in the descriptions for their channels and Twitters down below. Second question here, Sonny. I think you've got an answer to this one, so I'm going to start with you. Who in the Big Ten that is not currently ranked should be ranked? And, on this show, we always got to be a little spicy and take down the SEC a little bit. They have far too many teams in the top 25. So give me your team in the Big Ten that should be ranked, and give me your team in the SEC that maybe you just don't understand why they are, you don't think they should be. Who should not be ranked from the SEC?
Okay, this team right here that I represent absolutely should be ranked. For me, they were ranked 17 last week. They lose to the number 1 team in the country, and you fall 9 spots. Look, I understand Indiana happened. That was awful. That was a debacle. You lose to Ohio State by 2 points more than the spread was. But take a look at their wins. Western Michigan's on top of the MAC conference right now. Duke is 3-0, leading the ACC right now. They covered the spread against Purdue. It's a team where the offense is clicking for the most part. They've got 2 losses. I know they got the 2 losses, but they have 2 losses to, in my opinion, the number 1 and number 2 teams in the entire country. I'm not saying make them rank number 9 like they were going into that Indiana matchup, but you know what? They're one of the 25 best teams in the country, and they certainly have a resume to back that up.
If only there's another team with 2 big losses that has been ranked that, you can maybe think this through with, right, Sonny?
There's plenty on that side. The team actually that I'm going to go with is, it's a 2-team loss as well. If you didn't know this brand and this helmet and you just took a look at the Texas Longhorns resume, I'm not impressed by any of it. I understand they beat number 6 Oklahoma last week, but you know what? Oklahoma was not the 6th best team with 50% of their starting quarterback playing last week. He should not have been playing. The guy was clearly injured. You lose to a Florida team. None of these wins are impressive. San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. That's an Indiana Hoosiers type of non-conference schedule. We're not going to give any credit to that. And so for me, Texas Longhorns, I need to see more. You lost to Ohio State. Again, nothing wrong with that. Of course, the best team in the country. Oklahoma, I get it. It's a rivalry game. You won, but it's not the Oklahoma that we saw, for example, beat Michigan earlier in the year. Mateer was clearly hurt, clearly should not have been playing, and I don't think they've got the resume overall to deserve to be ranked in the top 25.
I like it. I'm
having a hard time.
I think
going
Sonny
away
has
from
every right
Texas
to
here.
say Illinois.
Yeah.
Are you going next, Matt? Go ahead, bud.
No, this is you. No, Kent, please. This is ISO ball for you, my man. Let's go.
Oh, sorry. Every right to say Illinois, Sonny. I think you're absolutely right. I'm just going to go with a different team, though, and I think that they're slightly more deserving even than Illinois, and it's Washington. They only have 1 loss, and it's to Ohio State, and that's it. And they've looked pretty good in all their other games. They haven't had the toughest schedule yet, so there's not a ton that I can go back to and say, well, they beat Maryland, so they deserve to be top 25. Not quite yet with their schedule, but I think that maybe a little foreshadowing for our next segment. I think that could change this weekend. They're probably going to pick up a win this weekend, and that could open up some people's eyes because a lot of people will be watching Michigan versus Washington this weekend. So I think they could be ranked next week, and I think that they should already be ranked. As far as the SEC, I'm going to be honest, I don't watch them at all. So I don't know who should be. Just pull them all out. I'm not interested in any of them being
every one of them.
Yeah, I just went to the first, one of the teams that's ranked the lowest and kind of made an argument just now to see, hey, could they not be ranked? And I think it's Vanderbilt. We just talked about them a little bit. They have 1 ranked win right now. It's at South Carolina. That's a pretty good win. Everybody else has been absolutely garbage that they've played so far. They got rocked at Alabama. They're playing LSU this weekend. They're probably going to lose this weekend. So, again, the 2 teams that I'm talking about, I feel like I could sit here and argue for it, or I can wait a couple days and wait till these games happen, and it's probably going to change for me anyway. So I think Vandy's going to be out next week, and I think that Washington is in.
I'm going to Frankenstein both your guys' answer here because, yeah, for me, it's Texas. And I know, great win, top 10 win, whoop-de-doo. It's not even the arch thing for me. The offensive line just still doesn't look entirely right. And, yes, it looked better against Oklahoma than it has all season. I need to see it for more than just one game. And, of course, John Mateer playing with a hand that is, like, not even fully capable of opening a jar of pickles yet, it seemed like. I don't know. Like, yeah, all top 10 wins are impressive wins. I just need to see a little bit more from Texas here. So just like you said, Sonny, if they had any other logo, like if they had for example, I don't know, like a Kansas State logo on their helmet, they'd already be eliminated from any sort of playoff talk and any top 25 talk. And then from the opposite side, what team deserves to be ranked? Sonny, you know me, I come in peace with Illinois fans. However, I'm gonna go with Washington here because I actually did find that win against Maryland a little impressive here, and that's not to say Maryland's a world-beating team, but you're flying across 3 time zones to play a game. You're already down. What was it, 20-0 right off the rip, and you found it in you to come back and beat the Terrapins. I mean, look, winning by 4 points against them, not the most impressive thing on paper, but just all the factors going into that game, it's solid. Yes, you got worked by Ohio State, but you've also worked every other team on your schedule outside that Maryland game. So I don't think Washington should be a top 10 team, but man, with that offense, they're at least competent enough on defense. I think they do deserve a top 25 ranking. And just like my good friend Kent said, I think that's going to spoil an answer for a question later on. Oh yeah, I'm going to be a hater on this next one. That's right. That's right.
Well, I was gonna ask about that team here for a second, and Kent, we'll throw this to you in this one. All right, I do think that Michigan has an argument here for being ranked, right? I mean, they were number 15 in the nation. I know.
Get this guy off his own show. Come on.
I'm the Ohio State Buckeye on this channel. If anybody should be against them, I should be. But if I'm thinking rationally here, they were number 15 in the nation. They lost to a team that is now considered top 20, and their only other loss is to a team that is considered top 20 as well. I'm with Sonny. If Texas can be up there and they can be ranked, if Notre Dame can be up there, they can be ranked. Why not Michigan, right? I mean, am I making a point here at all, Kent? What are your thoughts?
I mean, on paper, you're making a point. If nobody watched the games, you could definitely convince me for sure, but it just doesn't look like a top 25 team to me yet. Like, they just don't feel like it. The defense at times has looked like it. Like, oh man, these guys could be really special this year. Like, this defense is going to lock people up. And then you watch a USC game and it's like Swiss cheese all over the place. Like, they had walk-ons running 60-yard touchdowns at will last weekend. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, if they looked like what I've seen Washington look like more consistently, if they've looked like, what even Illinois has looked like outside of the Indiana game, looked really good, better than Michigan at times, I think I could get on board with it. But yes, absolutely. On paper, you say they had 2 really tough road games. One was really far away, and the other one was like, early in the season, they weren't ready at all. And neither Oklahoma shouldn't have been ready either. But, those are 2 really tough games. Yeah, we can make the argument. I think that they have to win this weekend if you want to continue that argument. Yeah. And like I said, I just don't see that happening. So it just doesn't feel like a top 25 team when I'm watching them.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it felt like it when Biff Poggi was coaching. So that's all I'll say. All
true.
Right? Biff Poggi was there.
Bring back Biff.
Yeah. Bring back Biff. Love it.
Top 5, unfortunately. Yeah.
All right.
Well, Biff
let's
Penn
move
State.
on.
Hold on. Not to go back a topic, but hold on. That's the answer right there. There it is, right? In front of us the whole time. It's Biff Poggi over at Penn State. Sorry, I just had to.
That's what we should have been doing. You're right.
God.
All right, let's move on to the last one here because this is where you guys get to, be a little bit of haters in this one, right? Sonny chose to be a homer a little bit in his. It's not really a homer. I agree with Sonny, but you get to be some haters here. So Matt, We'll start with you. What team do you have on upset alert? You asked me for the odds. I have FanDuel pulled up right here next to me, but give me a team that you think is on upset alert this week in the Big Ten.
Being a hater is all I got these days, so let's just go ahead and let it rip. I was torn between 2 games. The first one was USC, I believe on FanDuel, 9.5-point underdogs on the road at Notre Dame. So, look, I think USC is a very athletic team. And I love seeing that athleticism last week against Michigan because that is, of course, who I'm going to go with. And I understand it's going to be hard for a team to travel across the country to play in a tough environment like Michigan supposedly has. But Washington has 5.5-point underdogs. That is the Devils' number. You catch a team 5.5-point underdogs, go ahead and take that. But I don't know. I am not entirely convinced that Michigan is all there on offense. They haven't really seemed the part outside of tuning up Central Michigan 90,000-0 that day. But whenever they're facing a Power 4 team, I don't know, like the receivers, I think I'd choose us for over their receiving core at this point, guys. I mean, I believe in you, JR. Kent will throw you in the slot. Sonny, yeah, you're going to play the Z for us. You're going to run go routes down the sideline. I think it'll go better than what Ann Arbor has going right now. Bryce Underwood, we are contractually obligated as citizens in the state of Michigan to say that he's going to be good one day. If you don't say that, someone shows up to your doorstep with something in their hands that you do not want to confront. So here I am. I'm sure he's going to be a good player one day. Right now, certainly looks like a quarterback more times or a freshman quarterback more times than he doesn't. So that's what I'm going to go with. The Huskies, Damon Williams, Jed Fish before he leaves after 2 years inevitably at a school because that's all he knows. Like, yeah, let's go. Come on, Huskies. Make me just feel something on Saturday. Come on. Which one of you guys are going to take Michigan State, by the way? Go ahead. I'm just curious.
I was going to say, why aren't
Which
you
one
picking your boys right now? Why aren't you picking
my boys? Because I hate my boys, Ken. That's why. 26.5 point underdog.
Yeah, is that too many points? Is that a lot of points for a football game?
You should double that number and not still take it. Like, no, absolutely not. We're going to get absolutely taken to the wood chipper. No.
UCLA money lined it against Penn State with that number.
And you get one of those per year, Kent. That's right.
True.
So UCLA already burnt it up for us. We already know what's going to be happening this weekend, 3:30 on Peacock for no one to see. At least we got that going for us. No one will ever know about this game.
Sonny, I want to hear yours next because I still have two, so I can go either way.
So I had a couple in mind. Obviously, Washington, it was the clear one for me as well. JR and Kent know I'm not impressed with Michigan at all this year. For me, I think similar to the argument I used with Texas in the last segment, same can be said for Michigan this year. But you chose Washington, so I won't say Washington. I will say I actually do think that USC being spotted 9.5 points is crazy. I did not realize that's how big that spread was, but I think the intention of this segment needs to be a little bit more negative, so I can't be positive about a USC team. So I'm trying to take a look right here. Again, I'm calling an audible real quick. I know what it is. Until I see physically with my own eyes Nebraska beat Minnesota. I've seen Nebraska be really good, and I've seen Minnesota be really bad. And still, Minnesota beats Nebraska. And I think the same thing happens Friday night. Minnesota not very good. Nebraska supposedly good. It's at Minnesota. I think the Gophers win.
Well, I'll tell you, last week everybody picked Nebraska last week to get upset by Maryland. Who they even play last week? Maryland, yeah. Everybody picked them last week to be upset. No. I apologize. It was that Michigan State game 2 weeks ago. Everybody picked Nebraska to get upset in that one, and didn't work out for him. Sorry, Matt.
And then Matt was the only one
relax a little bit.
Yeah, my bad, Matt.
No. I don't feel anything anymore. It's fine. I could not care less. It's fine.
Basketball season's coming, Matt. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, I'll bring up the rear here. Those were my top two. So good job, guys. You stole them. You got them. Washington and the other, Sonny, one other thing too. That game that you were just talking about is Friday night games are insane all the time. So anything can happen. I always lean the home team.
Exactly.
And actually this year, a couple of the Friday night games have been electric. So I'm kind of hoping that we get that again this weekend. Hoping it's a good game. But I think Minnesota could win. I would definitely put Nebraska on upset alert. All right, here's my last one. I don't love this one. That's why I have it in third, because everybody knows how much I love this team I'm about to pick against. And we haven't seen this other team do very well all year, but it's time. I think that Northwestern flying high, flying back home, the Purdue Boilermakers, short travel, go up to the lake and steal a win. Honestly, think that they can do this because they have looked strong in some of those losses. Those games get away from them so quickly and it's just out of hand, but they're battling the whole time. This is a team that has not given up yet. They are searching for a team that who can we beat? This is one that they can beat. And like I said, everybody knows how much I love Northwestern. This is a team that Purdue could absolutely beat. I'll take the Boilermakers on the money line this weekend in the big upset by the lake.
Hey, it's
Well,
minus 3.5 right now for Northwestern. So Purdue with that offense, who knows? We'll see what happens.
That's
I like that one.
You are Mr. Big Ten, man. You are profiling a Northwestern Purdue game. Hats off. They don't call you casual Big Ten for nothing, man. You're anything but casual. You are dialed in, my friend. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do like the pick. I think they made the right call with Barry Odom. I don't think Barry Odom is going to get you anywhere near the top tier of the Big Ten, but he's going to get you out of the basement. And we saw him up close just a couple weeks ago ourselves. Barry kind of called out his team after that Illinois game, saying, hey, the mistakes just need to simply stop. No more excuses. We need to get better. And he just seems like one of those, football guys. And I think that, Northwestern's Northwestern, right? Like, this is a game, this is a battle of two teams who are in the bottom tier of the Big Ten Conference right now. I think Barry Odom's going to get those guys ready, and the travel, as you mentioned, Kent, I think you might be onto something here.
Do you agree, though, even in that Illinois game, they were fighting? Like, that game was closer than what the final score was at the end. Like, that's one of the games
they should have beat
referencing.
Minnesota. If
Brown
doesn't throw that pick, they should have beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm not going to admit that, Ken, because you never take that argument whenever I do it pro Illinois. So I'm not going to concede the other way around either.
Fair.
Ouch.
Fair enough. If they didn't drop 50,000 passes in that game, I think they would have been in it. Their receivers have got to. This is going to sound crazy, but their wide receivers have to catch the football.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Fantastic analysis.
That's why you tune into shows like this.
Yeah.
Ball knowers convention.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, let me ask you guys about two more games really quick, and then we'll get out of here, okay? Because these are two, one of them's a big dog. One of them was supposed to be a big dog this season, and they fired their coach, so I'll ask you about that one first. Penn State at Iowa. On our channel, or on our show that we just did on Tuesday night, released it Wednesday morning for the podcast crew, everybody in the chat was saying I was going to win this game. Penn State, no chance. You have the most winningest head coach in Big Ten history and the most winningest starting quarterback in all of college football history in Kirk Ferentz and Mark Gronowski, going against a brand new starting quarterback in Ethan Grunkemeyer and a brand new interim head coach in Terry Smith. They've never won a game before, but they are only 3.5-point underdogs to Iowa on the road in Kinnick this weekend. Everybody's picking Iowa. Does Penn State have a chance at all? You guys think this is blowout city like Iowa did to Wisconsin? I mean, this Penn State team does still have talent on their team, and they still do have their two coordinators they're paying like $7 million to combine. I don't know if it's that much, but it's a hefty number up there. Can this Penn State team pull off the upset?
If it wasn't at 7 p.m., yes. I've just seen this go to the – and how about this for hard-hitting analysis? How many times have we seen this episode of just, night game at Kinnick? A fun little name-brand team comes into town looking to do some more good things this season, or in Penn State's case, turn the season around. Not so fast, my friend. You're going to have the worst 3.5 hours of your entire life, and all you fans are just going to eat it and do nothing but stare at it the whole time. So, yeah, if this game was at 3:30, Penn State's going to win this one. They'll rally around the new coach. Their running back situation is still good enough, even with the new quarterback. But, no, the fact that there's not going to be any sunlight for this game, that's enough for me to just say, this is Iowa's.
He's completely right. Night game at Kinnick, and,
It's
Iowa,
over.
Iowa has a college football playoff opportunity that they're going to be gunning for. I've been paying attention to their fan base. I'm in a couple Hawkeye circles, and that's you figure 3 of the 4 spots are already taken in the Big Ten Conference. There's like 4 or 5 teams still vying for that 4th one, and Iowa, I think they know that Penn State is still Penn State. They understand that the Nittany Lions are a wounded animal, but Kirk Ferentz has been doing this for way too long, and I don't think he's going to let his guys overlook just how important of a game this is.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with those points. Matt, I was about to do the exact same thing that you were just saying. New coach, quarterback's gone. We're gonna rally together, and then you said night game, and I was like, never mind.
Night game at Kinnick. It's over. It's done. Why even play the game at this point?
That would be the only shot, though. But JR, you're absolutely right. It's not like this team doesn't have talent. I mean,
right.
I'm reminded of a team out west that fired their coach, and immediately we found out how talented their team was. They just had the wrong guy telling them what to do. So that could be the case at Penn State. We might see them just jump out and say, hey, we are, no pun intended, still Penn State. And I don't know, though. You guys are right, man. The night games are so tough there. And if you actually watched Iowa last week, Iowa looked unstoppable. I mean, they were playing Wisconsin, but they looked unstoppable last week. But I don't know. I think Vegas got this right. I would not touch this game with a 10-foot pole, man. I would not pick it. No. I wouldn't pick it against the spread. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't add it to a parlay. I wouldn't even sprinkle it anywhere. I wouldn't do anything with this game. I just stay away from it and enjoy it and just watch it.
Yeah. Like right now, Wednesday, moment of clarity. Like I got a fully capable, sober mind right now. No, I'm not going to touch this game. But I know once 4:30 on Saturday rolls around, I'm in the euphoria. College football Saturday, that's making the bet slip for sure.
And, don't do it. Don't do it, man.
No, well, I will. I know myself too well. I am going to do this, and I am going to lose. Because
I'm going to be 5 units down at that point.
Right,
I mean, come on. I'm going to bet 5 units on this Iowa Kinnick Stadium, of course.
It's got me. Yeah, my dog Ferentz is going to get me out of this.
Yeah.
That's right.
My dog Ferentz. I don't know if I've ever heard
I'm going to send
one.
you guys the episode if Penn State pulls the upset, and I'll be like, I told you guys not to do this.
Yeah, no, I won't listen, but yeah, I know.
I did get that spread wrong. I apologize. It is now at 2.5. It was originally at 1.5, went up to 2.5, went up to 3.5. Now it is back down to 2.5. So you got the field goal there. Could be dicey. We'll see what happens. All right,
Who's
the other one I was going to
Penn
ask.
State, by the way, sorry to cut you off. Who's coaching them?
Terry Smith, interim head coach. He's been with James Franklin a long time.
Sounds like my uncle.
Yeah,
I have an uncle Terry.
Much.
Yeah.
So do I.
Hey, same guy.
Is he a good football
Maybe.
coach?
Coaching in Iowa this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Wow. Holy smokes.
All right, final one here, and then we'll get you guys out of here. I don't know if this team wins or beats this other team here, but I do think the spread is a little bit enticing. Oregon is going on the road to Rutgers. What did we see after Penn State had their heartbreaking loss on the road across the country over to UCLA? Well, what does Oregon do after their heartbreaking loss to Indiana on the road across the country to Rutgers, where you have Ethan Kaliak-Manis? He is a gunslinger. He's throwing the ball all over the town over there. Ian Strong, KJ Duff, they have some good receivers. Don't really have a defense. So this could be a game that, really gets into the 30s, 40s type situation. But I'm going to be honest, if this game gets into a shootout type of scenario, I don't know if I hate the spread here of 17.5 for, obviously Oregon is favored. But, I mean, I'm not saying an upset's going to happen here, but are any of you guys taking Rutgers to cover in this one?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I would like to take the lead on this one if I could, boys. I have sworn off gambling on Rutgers full games as of last weekend because this is one of the worst second half teams that I have ever seen in the history of my existence. And I can't take it anymore because I feel like I'm going to get a big dub and I'm going to win some money. And then I watch the second half and they've switched jerseys every weekend. It happens. And Rutgers just doesn't show up in the second half. You just can't get them to show up. So what you're going to do here is you're going to pull up this game on FanDuel. You're going to look at the halftime line, and you're going to take Rutgers plus whatever it's going to be. I'm going to guess it's going to be around 9.5 or 8.5. Okay, that's what you're going to take, and you're going to be winning at halftime, and you're going to thank me later because they could possibly win the first half. Like you could take them to even win the first half, maybe. I'm not advertising for that, or I'm not advocating for that, but take them with the points in the first half and then be done with the game and just watch the second half. Do not do the full-time thing because you will be upset.
I just can't wait for this game. When this whole expansion started, I mean, that was always the go-to line whenever we're talking about funny new matchups. It's could you imagine Oregon going to Piscataway on a Saturday afternoon? How weird that's going to feel. We're about to live at Buckaroo. This is going to be just sensational television at 6:30 coming off here. I mean, but I'm so torn because I'm a big emotional roller coaster guy with college football. That's an emotional loss Oregon just took. That's actually why I loved UCLA. Not to beat outright Penn State. I did not call that, but at least, cover pretty heavily. But, oh, man, I just think Dan Lanning is too good of a coach to let his guys go in a letdown spot, even across the country, even after an emotional game against Indiana. Just like you said, Kent, Rutgers, too, in the second half, can't be trusted. And I watched Kaliak-Manis play for Minnesota 2 years ago, and it was the single worst quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. I know the stats say he's improved, but I can't mentally get over that hurdle. I thought he was throwing with the wrong hand for most of the game that I watched. So just for that reason alone, I am out. I want to be on Rutgers, but I am out. I am actually out.
Dan Lanning is a psychopath, and I'm looking at the lines right now on FanDuel. I'm going to take alt lines for the Oregon Ducks. I'll take 3 touchdowns. I get minus 20.5. I get plus money on it, plus 124. I'll even look at 4 touchdowns, minus 27.5. I get plus 250. I'm going to sprinkle it a little bit on both of them. Dan Lanning's not going to let these guys let up, especially now he understands that he's fallen to third essentially in the Big Ten Conference. And I think he's the type of coach that's going to run up the score. I don't think this one's even close.
I like it.
All right. Very interesting, guys. Yeah, Oregon has covered the spread 4 times so far this season. They are 4-2 against the spread. Anybody know what Rutgers is against the spread? Anybody? 3-3.
What?
3-3 against the spread so far this year.
That's not bad.
So we'll see how it works out. All right. Hey, really appreciate you guys coming on here. Really appreciate everybody coming in and listening to Around the Big Ten. Go find Casual Big Ten on Twitter. Kent over there doing a great job. Sonny Verma, go find him over at Locked On Illini and Talk Illini, the On3 affiliate for well, it is Orange and Blue news, but Talk Illini is a part of that, so it's kind of complicated. Just go follow Talk Illini, okay? I don't need to explain the entire thing. I'm over there too, Sonny and I doing stuff together, and then of course, give big thanks to Matt for coming on here. Go over to Locked On Michigan State. Look, like we said, he needs some help over there right now. It's still football season till basketball season gets here. Help get his views up a little bit. Help
volleyball's good. Hockey. Does anyone like Quidditch? We got a good club Quidditch team. Dodgeball's been good too. Anyone?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, the Midwest actually is a sneaky powerhouse for dodgeball. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's a sneaky powerhouse.
It is. Yeah.
So
yeah.
We love our dodgeball here in the Midwest. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks so much for listening. We will see you again after the game Friday night. I'll come on here live talking about Nebraska, Minnesota, and then, of course, Power Rankings episode Saturday night after the final Big Ten game. Looking for that to be a good one as well. Thanks so much.